You know that moment when you can't keep doing things the same way anymore? Something inside of you is ready to shift. Today's episode, we're standing at the edge of something new. This is a reintroduction, a realignment, and the beginning of a new chapter as the Couragecast evolves into the Soul Aligned podcast. Now, if you have been part of this community for a while, you're in the right place. And if you're new here, you're arriving at a very powerful moment in the podcast. This next chapter is a deeper conversation around personal growth, self-trust, and what it really means to live in alignment with who you are becoming. If you've ever felt stuck, burnt out, or disconnected from yourself, or you're craving more clarity, purpose, and ease in your life and business, this space is for you. In today's episode, I'm sharing more about my own evolution, the shifts in identity, the inner work, the energy, guiding this transition, and more importantly, what it means for you as you begin to trust yourself and release those old patterns and move towards a way that feels more grounded, intuitive, and aligned. Hello, friend. Welcome to the Soul Aligned podcast. I am so glad that you are joining me today. If you are new here, I'm just thrilled that we're going to be doing this journey together. If you've been here for many years, welcome back. Today's episode is going to be a little bit about me, a reintroduction. And of course, if you're listening on podcast, on audio, it's going to seem just kind of like normal. But if you're tuning in on YouTube, then you're actually going to be able to see me, which is a whole new thing that in the 8 years that I have been podcasting, I have not done until now. I had many people asking me over the course of time, are you ever going to do podcasting on video? And for so long, it was like, no way. There is absolutely no way. But here we are. So you're going to have to bear with me as I transition through and learn something new as we go. So just a little bit about me. I am basically what I'd say is I live in a small town and I'm a small town girl with big city energy. So I love the big city. I love being in the energy of a big city, but I happen to live in rural Northern Ontario with my rescue dog, Coffee Crisp. And I've been podcasting for over 8 years. And something that you're going to really discover about me is how spiritually minded and deeply intuitive I am. There are probably not very many conversations I don't have with friends or people in my life that I don't get a download or an intuitive hit around something. Now, I'm not always sharing it, but definitely does come. And my background is a bit layered, so I weave that into the podcast. I talk about it from time to time, some of the stories. And I started when I was 19 years old, going to a Christian liberal arts university and got a music education degree. Started off as a high school and elementary music teacher, and then transitioned to full-time pastoring where I did music, young adults, youth. It was all the things. And then in 2014, I left full-time ministry and I moved into more coaching, both online and in person. Now, the whole way along, I have always loved music. So I have been doing coaching, vocal coaching and piano in person and online since college. So I've been doing that this whole entire time, and I still continue to do it to this day. But when I left my full-time career, I found myself questioning a lot of things. Like, what am I doing with my life? How am I going to get there? What's next? Why do I feel like I'm unfulfilled? Why do I feel like there's so much more for me? And how the heck am I going to do it? And I found myself just really asking a lot of questions, starting over. So I've had to reinvent myself many, many times, wondering how I'm going to rebuild and trying to figure it out as I go, not necessarily having a clear path forward. And as I'm single and I don't have any kids, it has been an interesting journey because it hasn't been like everyone else. But one of the things that you're going to hear on the podcast is where I sit when it comes to my coaching. I started off as a life purpose coach because I had a fantastic life purpose coach who really inspired me to grow, who shared with me so many incredible things, so much so that I became a coach myself. And I wrote a book called Designed with Purpose. Then I realized that I wanted to help leaders within the church and then also in corporate. So I got a leadership certification and then success certification. And then I started doing more mindset with my clients, which led me to becoming certified in NLP, hypnotherapy, time techniques, EFT, and I expanded myself in that way. And then when I hit my own wall because I felt like I couldn't really get a handle on my finances, that is when I actually became more aware of nervous system regulation and the role that it plays in helping us to feel safe, to hold more in our lives, whether that's money, whether that's relationships, whether that is opportunities. And I began the journey of understanding and learning about how to regulate my nervous system and how to feel safe in my body, which led me, of course, to understanding human design, my own soul alignment and expansion. And that's how we have gotten here. So more than anything, I really am about living and leading with your soul alignment. So in a way that serves you, in a way that helps you to make more impact, in a way that helps you to make more money, in a way that helps you to create more ease and flow in your life. Now, you might be asking, okay, well, what can I expect from this podcast? Where are we actually going to be go? Well, the podcast really is going to be real, honest conversations, always like it has been, my lived experiences. But I'm not just here to teach you concepts. I'm here to share from my own story. I'm here to share what I have been living, what I've been moving through, what I'm embodying in real time. And I'm going to weave that into teaching. I'm going to weave that into things that you can take away and integrate into your own life. I'm going to share with you conversations, both with people that I know really well and then guests that I have on the show that will help you to take away something that you can use in your own life and create momentum and create alignment and really live from your soul. We're going to talk about human design. We're going to use somatic practices within the podcast, which is going to be so fun and so amazing. And you're going to expect probably at least one episode a week to start. You know, with YouTube, I can't take off, more than just one episode at this moment because I think I might implode if I did more than that. But if all goes well, I might start adding a second one a little bit later. But for now, we're going to be sticking to one episode a week. Now, a few fun facts about me that you might know or you might not know is that I am a generator 2-4 sacral in human design. It is something that I have been studying for several years now. I absolutely love it. In fact, how I got to human design was actually through the Enneagram first, and then meeting some friends who introduced me to human design. And it has been such an eye-opening exploration into who I am, into how I work, into how I can really move out of those shadows and into more of who I am and decondition from those old beliefs and those old ways of being. I love coffee, thus naming my dog Coffee Crisp. I love to travel, to explore. Music is a huge part of my life. You'll probably see me sharing a lot of music on my social media because I just absolutely love it. And maybe a little bit of music here on the podcast as well. Now, who is the podcast for? This space is for you if you're a spiritually minded woman. And if you're a guy and you're here too, that's great. We welcome everybody. Women who desire more for their lives, who are ready to live and lead from alignment, and really who are open to what is for them on every level, energetically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, in all levels, because we're going to talk about it all. We're going to talk about how you live, how you lead, and how you impact others, whether it's in your life personally, whether it's through entrepreneurship, whether it's through creativity, whether it's through a business. All of those things are welcome here because we're going to be talking about how you're aligned, how your soul is aligned, and how you take what it is that you have inside of you and you create an impact in the world. Now, you might be a coach yourself, you might be a healer, you might be a leader, you might be someone in business, you might be someone who's just so new to human design or to any of this. I hope that you stick around, that you will take something away. And of course, I would love to hear from you and just get to know you a little bit better. But one of the things that I'm probably almost going to guarantee is that you're someone who holds space for other people. You're somebody who does the work because you wouldn't be here otherwise. Someone who knows that there's so much more available for you. Someone who's deeply connected to God, to the universe, to the divine, and actually wants to live in a way that feels so soul aligned. Friend, I'm so glad that you're here. We've got lots to talk about over the course of the next few episodes, but this is a space where we don't have it all figured out. We are definitely learning. And I know that to be true, even as I record these episodes, there is so much for me to learn. There is so much for me to integrate. And I know the same is for you as well. You can expand at your own pace. You get to be powerful. You get to be human. You get to be authentic. You get to be all the things, the beauty of who you are. So I want to thank you for staying with me on this journey, for joining me as we move into this era of the Soul Aligned podcast. And friend, if this episode has supported you or you feel energized by listening and you're just so excited to be here, can I just ask you to leave a rating and review so that other people will be able to find the podcast as well, and maybe even share it with a friend. You can connect with me on Instagram at Andrea Crisp Coach, or find me on the web at andreacrisp.ca to find out how we can work together and how we can connect. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this episode resonated with you, I would love for you to take a moment to rate and review the podcast. It really helps more women find these conversations and step into their own alignment. And if you're feeling called to go deeper, you can connect with me and explore ways we can work together. All of those details are in the show notes. And as you move through your day, just remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. Trust your soul knows the way. Original music and production by Stephen Crilly.